Shelley Winter in for Mark Aram. He will be back on Friday. He's off for Passover and spring break. You can make a comment at WSB Radio or at Shelley Winter, SHELLEYWYNTER. You can watch the live feed, see what I look like, how handsome I am at WSBRadio.com. Or listen on your smart speaker, and you can use the command play 95.5 WSB. So, before I get into the rescue mission, which is amazing, an amazing story and a true story. It's like it played out when you're reading about it. It played out like a movie. I mean, name your movie. Chuck Norris, Delta Force. I mean, you can name your movie. It was real life. But I do want to shout out really quickly Emory University. Emory, I didn't know this until this morning, until last night. Emory University made it to the D3 championship. Here's the call.
Emory doesn't need a three if they can score quickly. One timeout. Faust to tie the game. Oh, yeah! UMW out of timeouts. Robinson, 5 seconds. Goes to his left for the win. No, Mitchell's putback is good. Mary Washington. Oh, boy.
Mary Washington at the last second beat Emory for the D3 championship. A shout out to Emory University, our very own Emory, for getting to the Division III championship, losing on a buzzer beater. But shout out to that program. I want to talk about the rescue mission. This was amazing, right? Did you? I mean, the way it played out, the planning of it, it was just amazing. The CIA was involved, Special Forces. We just found out there's a secret Special Forces that we kind of didn't know. SEAL Team 6 was involved. I mean, this is just an incredible story. The pilot ejected, and he climbed a 7,000-foot mountain. He was injured. His leg was injured. He's a colonel. And so he used all of his training, and he climbed this mountain and hid out in a crevice in the mountain for 36 hours, his beacon going off. And the CIA, they did kind of a thing where they told their operative or their double agents, whatever you call them, that are in Iran, or the people that they give information to that's faulty, that's false, and they made the Iranians believe that he had already been rescued, and they raced to another part of Iran to intercept him, and meanwhile they were rescuing him. And then when they rescued him, they destroyed military equipment. Of course you do. There's nothing wrong with that. Look, I see a lot of people on the left screaming and yelling about the equipment left. Come on, let's be honest. You know, we will trade hundreds of millions of dollars in equipment for a life. That's who we are. No man left behind. And I applaud our president, and I applaud this administration, and I applaud our men and women in the armed forces who went into hostile enemy territory while the enemy was searching for this guy and rescued him and got him home, and just had to destroy the equipment they flew in on because it got stuck in the sand, and they got transported out, everyone safe and sound. That is to be celebrated. So you have to, one of the things that I have found as a talker is I'm not here to propagandize you. There are people who are in positions in media who are there to propagandize you. They're there to celebrate everything one side does and castigate everything the other side does. I'm still a conservative. I will still vote Republican. But I'm going to shoot straight with you. And I'm going to see things, and I'm going to tell you what I think about them. That's literally what they pay me to do here. Look at the world, Shelley, and tell people what you think. So I'm able to see good, and I'm able to criticize that which I disagree with. And on this, we show to be America, or America, if you will. We showed that. The president made a decision, and they executed the mission flawlessly, with the exception of the planes being stuck in the sand and they had to blow them up. That's fine with me. I'll give up hundreds of millions of dollars in military equipment for the life of one Air Force pilot or one Marine or one soldier or one whatever it is. every single time and twice on Sunday. And I think we all would. Heck, we left billions of dollars of military equipment in Afghanistan, and I didn't hear a peep out of the people yelling and screaming about the equipment having to be blown up. And this is what I mean. Try and listen to, I'm on every night, 7 to 9 p.m. Because I disagree with this administration, whom I voted for 3 times, it doesn't make me a Democrat. Doesn't make me a libtard. Just makes me someone who sees the world and comments on the world as I see it. And I think we all should be able to do that. Wouldn't this be a greater country if everyone were able to look at whomever they voted for, whatever side they're on, whatever label they accept, be it male, be it Christian, be it female, be it Republican, be it Democrat, and be able to see something that your side is doing, that which you identify as is doing, and say, I don't agree with that. Wouldn't this be a much better world? If we were able to be honest and see the things that we see and not have to attack because it's the other side or defend because it's our side, no matter what, even if it's something that we disagreed with happening 3-4 months ago, we should live in that kind of world. I would like to live in that kind of world. I give you a perfect example. Thomas Sowell I idolize Thomas Sowell. For those of you who don't know who Thomas Sowell is an African-American conservative born in the South, moved to Harlem and grew up in Harlem. Because I'm originally from Harlem, I took a shine to him, as they will. And I idolize this man. I don't idolize anybody in my life except Thomas Sowell. And I found conservatism in his great books. Black Rednecks and White Liberals. White Liberals and Black Rednecks was the first book I read by him. Then I read Basic Economics, and I've been reading his stuff all along. But he introduced me to the concept of conservatism. Before that, I had believed what I was raised to believe for my family. And then I started thinking differently after reading Thomas Sowell. Thomas Sowell, when he went to college, was a Marxist, a true Marxist, and a black nationalist, much like Clarence Thomas was when he went off to law school. Both of them coming to kind of the same conservative ideology after seeing the data. In Thomas Sowell's case, he went to work for the Department of Labor. It was his first job out of college, actually from the Marines. Then he went to college and he got a job at the Department of Labor. And he started to see the data. And he started to realize, before this, that government could not answer problems. In other words, in many cases, government's programs were making the problems worse for the people they intended to help. And he saw Marxism, oh, wait, I've been wrong. And he was able to say this to himself because he was an adult. He was able to sit back, look at the data, and say, oh, wait a minute, I was wrong. And he became a lifelong conservative economist and a free market capitalist. And he moved away from Marxism. He moved away from socialism. He moved away from government programs because he saw that the data didn't back up what was going on. That's called being an adult, where you can look at something and say to yourself, you know what? I'm on this team, but I disagree with this. That's called being an adult. It's called being a person, not a sheep. Because when you're a sheep, you just follow along. The shepherd tells you to come here, you come here. The shepherd tells you to eat, you eat. The shepherd tells you to eat over here, you eat over here. Never questioning the shepherd. But there are people, we're humans, we're supposed to say, you know what, I don't agree with this. Still like you. Still will vote for you. But I don't like this. I don't agree with this. It's okay for Democrats to do it. It's okay for Republicans to do it. It's okay for women to do it to other women. It's okay for men to do it to other men. It's okay for blacks to do it to blacks and whites to do it to whites and whites to do it to blacks and blacks to do it to whites without being called racist or sexist or misogynist or haters. It's okay to look at something and say, you know what? I don't agree. Or I do agree. And then we can have the back and forth like adults. Shelley Winter in for Mark Arum, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here every day through Thursday. Mark is back on Friday, where he's out celebrating Passover and spring break. And when we come back, I want to tell you about my Easter Sunday. and how it all applies to everything I just spent the first hour filling in for Mark, and how it applies to all of that. But shout out to the administration. Shout out to President Trump. Shout out to our men and women in the military who achieved this spectacular, flawless rescue of an American pilot, a colonel, who spent 3 days over Easter weekend in a crevice in a mountain being hunted by the enemy and rescued by our great military personnel. An order executed and delivered by our president, President Donald J. Trump. He should be celebrated for that. We'll be right back. 448-720-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. Shelley Winter in for Mark Arum. Oh, let's go check traffic with Smiling Mark.